Lenin said, there are decades when nothing happens, and then there are weeks when decades happen. And I think that's so true of where we are right now with COVID-19 and the lockdown. I think we should all try to record our experiences. We are living through an extraordinary period of history. And I think write down any thoughts, observations that we all have and preserve it for future generations. I've asking a number of my author friends for writing tips, and I'm going to be sharing some of these with you during the coming weeks. Do let me know how you get on. Post comments.
My writing tip is to never start the day with a blank page. So the day before, finish halfway through a chapter, halfway through a line if you need to, so you sit down and you're straight into it.
Well, I think that a lot of people want to be writers because they read a book they love, and you shouldn't lose sight of that excitement, but also your brain is a muscle. And if you're not reading, you're not exercising that muscle. Even if you're reading a kind of shitty book, you're learning why it's shitty and how not to make those mistakes.
Hit the ground running. So your first chapter has to tell the reader everything about the book and ideally have lots of things happening in it.
Write every day and don't go back over it.
Write. Finish what you write. That's two. But those are the first two of Robert A. Heinlein's famous 4 rules of writing, which had a lot of effect on me personally. The one, particularly when I was a kid and a teenager, I was writing a lot of stories, but I was never finishing any of the stories. I'd have this beautiful vision in my head of the masterpiece that I was going to create, and then I'd start to write it, and I'd get it halfway through, and gosh, it wasn't a masterpiece. It was all flawed. It wasn't as brilliant as I thought. It was all kind of messed up, and the more I wrote, the less and less in love with it I'd be. And then I'd have another idea for a different masterpiece that I could write. So I'd put aside that one and finish. I'd start a new one, and of course, that way I wound up with a drawer full of fragments and never any actual stories with a beginning, middle, and end, until I encountered Robert A. Heinlein and his rules of writing. And the second one was, you must finish what you write. So I'm still trying to do that now with my own books, with Song of Ice and Fire, of course. I started writing it, and now I'm fighting to finish what I wrote.